Hi, I'm Sharon Bill. Welcome to my Theory Tuition series where I'll lead you step by step through each of the ABRSM theory grades. There are loads of resources available to help you on my website if you visit sharonbill.com. You'll find some free PDF information sheets. They're available in US letter or A4 and they accompany each step of this series. You'll also find a page which links to all of my YouTube video tutorials, and you can access information about the books that I have available. I've written How to Take Your ABRSM Music Theory exam. It's full of tips and techniques on how to best prepare for your exam and also how to best make use of the time once you're in the exam room. So if you visit sharonbill.com, you'll find it all there. If you can give me a like, that would be great, and subscribe to my channel to keep updated. There's loads more to come. And so let's press on with this topic of intervals. So turn with me in your Music Theory and Practice workbook to page 28. And we'll have a look at exercise 2. Now there's no new information here at all. It's just presented in a different way. Previous examples in this book have been harmonic intervals. They come together like a harmony. Whereas now these are melodic intervals which come note after note as it would do in a melody, but the principle remains the same. And so it's irrelevant here really what your key signature is. Only bear it in mind in terms of which sharp or flat will affect one of these notes, but always take the lowest note as your key note to work out the intervals. If it is that you're a little bit hazy on that, you might want to revisit the previous 2 videos in this section. So grade 4 H part 1 and 2. And this is just a continuation of that. No new subject matter at all. We're just continuing to practice at it. So if you feel like you're confident and you want to just have a go, then by all means crack on, press pause and then re-access into the video. Or work through a few with me and then try some on your own afterwards. It's always better to try some on your own. It doesn't matter if you go wrong. We're only ever writing in pencil. You've got your eraser to hand. It's better to learn by your mistakes. So let's crack on. So they've given us the first couple of examples. It's just a bit tricky keeping an eye out for which bits they're referring to here. We're looking at these 2 intervals. So at first glance it looks like we've got from C to E, which would be a major third, because E is part of C major. However, it's a C sharp because of the key signature. And so because that bottom note is raised, it makes the interval smaller. You can see here, instead of C to E, we've raised the lower note and made the interval smaller, and that's why it's a minor third. Number 2, we've got a D to an F sharp because of the key signature. We know that F sharp is part of D major scale. The bottom note we treat as a key note, and that's why that's a major third. So let's carry on. And so first of all, let's just work out the number. So we've got 1, 3, 5, 6. Then we know that it's a something 6. That's half of the job done. So our lowest note is E, and we're going to C sharp because of the key signature. That's a C sharp. We know that C sharp is part of E major scale, and therefore we know that we're in a major 6th interval here. Let's have a look at this next one. So here we've got F to B ostensibly, so we know it's a something 4th. Now F to B isn't quite the whole story because we've got a sharp, haven't we? Now it's quite tricky to think, are you in F sharp major? And so you could just think about it and rearrange it so that you've got F to B flat. However, instead of that, we've got F sharp to B, and so it still works out at the same. We've got a perfect 4th there. That's right, if you want to just check that out. So instead of F to B flat, we're stepping everything up a semitone. from F sharp to B. So you can see that we're just parallel moving that. The principle remains the same. So there's your perfect fourth. Let's have a go at the next section. So again, we've got a 1, 3, 4th. Let's see what our key signature does here. We've got a B flat, E flat, A flat key signature. So we're actually going from B flat to E flat, and that will be a perfect fourth, because if you're thinking in B flat major or minor, E flat is appropriate. Nothing's been changed, so there we have our perfect fourth. Number 2. So we're looking at these two notes here. So although the lowest note comes second, it doesn't matter, we're still counting upwards. You always count upwards. So we've got a 1, 2, 3, we've got a third. So we've got G to B flat. G to B would be major, and then we've got the flat here, which makes it a smaller interval, which is minor. And just to double check that, we know that G minor has B flats in it, so that makes sense. There we go. Let's look at this next one. So now we've got a 1, 3, 5, 7th. So we know that F to E would be a major 7th because E is part of F major scale. However, it's an E flat because of our key signature. Just jot that in if it helps you to remember it. And so instead of major, it's minor. We've made the interval smaller by flattening the top note, and we also know that E flats are part of F minor key signature and scale as well, so we know it's a minor 7th. A minor interval is always smaller than a major interval. If you remember that, that helps. Last one in this little exercise, so we've got 1, 2, 3, that's a something third. We've got A flat because of your key signature to C. We know that C is part of A flat major scale, and therefore we've got a major third, so there's nothing new there. Marvellous. So if you feel like you're getting to grips with this, just have a go of the next section on your own. So press pause, have a go, and then re-access into the video. Let's look at this one. So although the number is here, we're looking at this interval here, which is a 1, 2, 3, it's a third. And so, oh, I'm in the wrong place. That's not right. How did I do that? Here we are, we're looking here. There we go. Oops a daisy, I do apologise. So let's count again. 1, 3, 5, 6, that's the 6th. And so let's see what we've got here. We've got a G to an E. The key signature is F sharps and C sharps, so nothing's affected. So G to E is a major 6. It's part of the G major scale, so nothing changed there. Let's have a look at this one. So we've got 1, 3, 5. It's a 5th. The key signature doesn't affect any of the notes. We've got A to E, and we know that that's a perfect 5th. It's part of A major and A minor scale, and nothing's been altered. So that's a perfect 5th. Nice and easy there. Let's look at the next one. So we've got a 1, 2, 3. So we've got a third. Now F to A would be major. However, it's F sharp, so we've raised that lower note by a semitone. We've made the interval smaller, and so that's now a minor third. Again, if you find it hard to just imagine in your head, just sketch yourself out a piano keyboard, and you can see F to A is major, and then we've raised the lower note, which has made the interval smaller. If the lower note is raised, it's become smaller, and so we've gone from major to minor. Let's have a look at the last one. So the last one is 1, 3, 5, 6. We've got a something 6th. And so we've got E as our lowest note to C sharp. Remember the key signature, C sharp is part of E major scale, and so that's a major 6, nothing changed there. There we go, last one. If you haven't tried any of these on your own, please do so now. It doesn't matter if you go wrong. and then come back to me when you've had a go. So let's look at these together now. Number 1 is this interval here, 1, 2, 3. We've got a third, a something third. We've got a key signature of B flats, which doesn't apply to any of these notes here. We've got an F to an A. A is part of F major scale, that's a major third, nothing changed there, nothing new there. Number 2, here we go. We've got a 1, 3, 4th. We've got F to B flat, and we know that's a perfect 4th, and there's nothing changed there. It's part of the major and the minor scale. So it's a perfect 4th. Let's look at this next one. So it looks like we've got a bit of chromatic alteration here. So let's take it a step at a time. We've got a 1, 3, 5, 7th. So let's start off without this accidental. So C to B natural would be a major 7th. It's a B flat because of the key signature, which makes it smaller, which is a minor 7th. And then because we've raised the bottom note, we've made it smaller again, so we've gone from minor to diminished. You just have to take it a step at a time, work your way through the intervals just by working chromatically, adding the accidentals as you go along. Let's look at this next one. Now don't forget here, well first of all we know that we got a 1, 2, we got a second, so that's easy peasy. Now don't forget your accidental still counts. Remember, an accidental lasts for a whole bar unless it's been cancelled. So that is still C sharp. So C to D would be major. However, because the bottom note is raised by this sharp still being in action, it's actually a minor 2nd. So that could trick you there if you forget that that sharp still counts. There we go. So that's that little topic finished for now. If you've found that helpful, please give me a like. Please do subscribe to my channel to keep updated. And please do visit sharonbill.com. There's lots there to help you. Please do make use of all of that information and resource there. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.